Konnichiwa, my Otakus, I'm the Yume Otaku, and welcome back to another episode of Explain This. For those that are new to this series, I shall explain what this series is actually for. This is an educational series I have made to explain things that 100+ hour players would usually consider common sense. For example, why one would build Mystical Mail on Kukulkan. This series is for newbies that might not know this stuff. So let's begin with our first topic, which is Gem of ISO on Ah Puch. This topic doesn't necessarily stop at Ah Puch. Gem of ISO is good on a mass variety of mages and guardians. However, only a small handful really consider it a core item. A good example would be Poseidon is also a god that really thrives on Gem of ISO. The reason Gem of ISO is so good on gods like Ah Puch and Poseidon is mainly because they already have slows in their kits, and then also they have giant AoE abilities. Also for Poseidon, his Trident or his 2 will also proc Gem of ISO with each basic landed. These two gods have kits that will proc Gem of ISO with any ability, as long as, of course, they land the ability. But for Ah Puch, it makes his ultimate a lot more viable. With Gem of ISO, it guarantees more damage with his ultimate due to the enemies getting slowed in it, causing them to be in it longer. With that being said, we'll move on to the next topic, which is Doom Orb. Okay, imagine this scenario. 15-minute game, you've died 7 times. You have Doom Orb. What do? Sell Doom Orb and try and get a different item? Or keep Doom Orb and lose out on a lot of power because you can't get it fully stacked? The correct answer is sell it. Ever since this item has been buffed, I've been seeing a lot of it, which is fine, but what is not fine is just the fact that all these people that have been building it seem to forget how this item works. For those that don't know how Doom Orb works, it loses half of its stacks upon death. And don't get me wrong, Doom Orb is a good item. Ever since the buff, it's actually been really good. The problem is just the fact that nobody seems to remember how to use this item. If we go off of the scenario I gave you at the beginning of this topic, if you're 15 minutes into a game, you've died 7 times, you're not benefiting from this item because most likely you have 10 stacks. Now don't get me wrong, there are people out there that can keep their stacks maxed even after dying this many times, and those people are fine, but most people can't do that because by the time 15 minutes hits, the laning phase is over, you're not stacking anymore, and you're constantly doing team fights. And because of that, your team is losing out on a lot of your damage because you have an item that's pretty much unfinished because it's not at its max potential. So if you're one of these people that can never keep Doom Orb max stack because you're constantly dying, sell the item. You're better off buying a different item. Sure, it will put you behind in gold a little bit, but it will be a lot better and more useful late game when you finally catch up. And with that, I'm finished with this topic, so let's move on to the final topic of today's video, which is building Poly and Hydra's second item is just bad. This topic is exactly what it sounds like. If you buy Poly or Hydra second item, you are missing out on a lot of damage. For people who don't realize what these items do, they're pretty much the same thing, just counterparts between physical and magical damage. If you use an ability, the passive of these items will give your next basic extra power, scaling off of your current power. And yeah, sure, on paper, that sounds really good. However, if you're building a second item, you don't have a lot of power for these passives to go off of. So you're better off waiting till 3rd or 4th item after, you have a Jotun's or a Bancroft's to actually build this item. And not to mention, only certain mages actually benefit from Polynomicon, whereas almost every assassin can benefit from Hydras. Now, I will make the counter argument in this argument saying that Hydras is a lot better than Poly because Hydras does give cooldown, so building its second item isn't entirely as bad as building Poly's second item, but realistically, you're better off just getting Jotun's Wrath since its price has been reduced just recently, so getting that extra cooldown, the penetration, and the power would just be better to get that second item and then get Hydras. And that is going to be the end of today's video, so thanks for watching. I did script today's video, so that is why it's probably going to be a little shorter. So anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and or subscribe for your senpai, and comment below what topics you would like to have explained next, and I will see you, Brotakus, in the next video. See ya!